गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरवनचारी। यमुना तीरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय श्री निताय गौरचंद्र भगवान की। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Canto 1, Chapter 15, Text 17. sautye vṛtaḥ īśvaro me. yat-pāda-padmam bhajanti bhavyāḥ. मां śrānta-vāham arayo rathino bhuvi-ṣṭhaṁ. न prāharan yad-anubhāva-nirasta-cittāḥ. sautye kumatinātmada īśvaro me. yat-pāda-padmam bhajanti bhavyāḥ. मां śrānta-vāham arayo rathino bhuvi-ṣṭhaṁ. न prāharan yad-anubhāva-nirasta-cittāḥ. sautye kumatinātmada īśvaro me. yat-pāda-padmam bhajanti bhavyāḥ. मां śrānta-vāham arayo rathino bhuvi-ṣṭhaṁ. न prāharan yad-anubhāva-nirasta-cittāḥ. sautye kumatinātmada īśvaro me. यत-पाद-पद्म अभवाय भजन्ति भव्याः। मां श्रान्तवाहमरयो रथिनो भुविष्टम्। न प्राहरन् अनुभवाव-निरस्त-चित्ताः। sautye ऋत कुमतिनात्मद ईश्वरो मे। यत-पाद-पद्मभवाय भजन्ति भव्याः। मां श्रान्तवाहमरयो रथिनो भुविष्टम्। sautye ऋत कुमतिनात्मद ईश्वरो मे। यत-पाद-पद्मभवाय भजन्ति भव्याः। मां श्रान्तवाहमरयो रथिनो भुविष्टम्। न प्राहरन् यद-anubhāva-nirasta-cittāḥ। माताजी, sautye ऋत कुमतिनात्मद ईश्वरो मे। यत-पाद-पद्मम् अभवाय भजन्ति भव्याः। मां श्रान्तवाहमरयो रथिनो भुविष्टम्। Word to word meaning and translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sautye, regarding the chariot driver. Ruta, engaged. Kumatina, by bad consciousness. Atmada, one who delivers. Īśvaro, the Supreme Lord. Me, my. Yat, whose. Pada-padmam, lotus feet. Abhavāya, in the matter of salvation. Bhajanti, do render service. Bhavyāḥ, the intelligent class of man. Mam, unto me. Śrānta, thirsty. Vāham, my horses. Arayo, the enemies. Rathina, a great general. Bhuvi-ṣṭhaṁ, while standing on the ground. Na, did not. Prāharan, attack. Yat, whose. Anubhāva, mercy. Nirasta, being upset. Cittāḥ, mind. Translation. It was by His mercy only that my enemies neglected to kill me when I descended from my chariot to get water for my thirsty horses. And it was due to my lack of esteem for my Lord that I dared engage Him as my chariot driver. For He is worshipped and offered services by the best man to attain salvation. Purport. The Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is the object of worship both by impersonalists and by the devotees of the Lord. The impersonalist worship His glowing effulgences emanating from His transcendental body of eternal form, bliss and knowledge, and the devotee worship Him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are below even the impersonalist consider Him to be one of the great historical personalities. The Lord, however, descends to attract all by His specific transcendental pastimes, and thus He plays the part of the most perfect master, friend, son and lover. His transcendental relation with Arjuna was in friendship, and the Lord therefore played the part perfectly as he did with his parents, lovers, and wives. While playing in such a perfect transcendental relation, the devotee forgets by the internal potency of the Lord that his friend or son is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although sometimes the devotee is bewildered by the acts of the Lord, after the departure of the Lord, Arjuna was conscious of his great friend, but there was no mistake on the part of Arjuna, nor any ill estimation of the Lord. Intelligent men are attracted by the transcendental acting of the Lord with a pure, unalloyed devotees like Arjuna. In the warfield, scarcity of water is well-known fact. Water is very rare there, and both the animals and men working strenuously on the warfield constantly requires water to quench their thirst. Especially wounded soldiers and generals feel very thirsty at the time of death, and it sometimes so happens that simply for want of water one has to die unavoidably. But such scarcity of water was solved in the battle of Kurukshetra by means of boring the ground. By God's grace, water can be easily obtained from any place if there is facility for boring the ground. The modern system works on the same principle as boring the ground, but modern engineers are still unable to dig immediately wherever necessary. It appears, however, from the history as far back as the days of the Pandavas, that big generals like Arjuna could at once supply water even to the horses, and what to speak of men, by drawing water from underneath the hard ground simply by penetrating the stratum with a sharp arrow, a method which unknown to the modern scientist. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातान् सहगण रघुनाथं नितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुते नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतनूं। Hare Krishna. I welcome everybody for the Saturday morning Bhagavatam class, and I seek blessings of all the Vaishnavas so that I speak whatever I speak for glorification of the Lord, for purification of my heart, and it should please the Vaishnavas. So wonderful section going on gratitude of Arjuna, and all of us knows that how being grateful to the Lord or being grateful itself is a great virtue. Once one senior disciple of Radhanath Swami Maharaj, his name is Jugal Kishore Prabhu, who preaches in US, he was telling that he was asking his spiritual master that, Maharaj, do we have to become grateful in bhakti? So Maharaj said that bhakti means becoming grateful. Even one of the definition Maharaj was telling that when somebody wanted to renounce, why he wanted to renounce? His basis should be that I am so grateful to the Lord that now I want to give every aspect of my life for the Krishna's service. So wonderful different remembrance of Arjuna, because he was grateful. This is the last shloka of his expressing gratitude to Krishna. And here he is explaining about this shloka, and previous shloka is telling how the Jayadrath was killed, that particular incidents. Of course, all narrations of Bhagavatams are so wonderful, but these particular qualities which we really have to imbibe, so that we may not repay, but we can offer something to our spiritual masters and acharyas by trying to share this knowledge with others. When we are grateful, we will share to others. So in Bhagavatam, I just happened to come across with a very wonderful shloka, that how the glories of the Lord mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam are very auspicious to everyone. This is from 282. Etad veditum ichhami tatva vidavara harer adbhuta viryasya katha loka sumangala. So this particular chapter, 8th chapter of 2nd canto, is completely filled with all questions. So his chapter's name itself is a question by Parikshit Maharaj. So he was so eager to hear from Sukadeva Goswami that he asked so many questions. Sometimes somebody asks so many questions to us, we say, Arey, why you are so much troubling me? Just chant Hare Krishna and be happy. But he is inquisitive to understand about Krishna, and things related to Krishna was so much that he asked so many detailed questions. He asked practically entire 3-4 cantos then are the answer to these questions. So we can understand that, like he asked my question, what is the measurement of time? Then he has given, Sukadeva Goswami has given entire chapter, I think 3.11, that where he tells different measurement of time, from Paranu to Savatsar and Ayudha. Ayudha is considered as Brahma's half age, I think. Yes, 50 years. So, but why he wanted to ask so many questions? So that the narration of Lord happens. Only reason the discussions or question answer taken place in the association of devotees is for, so that Lord is glorified. As they rightly say that, praise the Lord. So, two aspects are covered in this translation, that how all enemies, they neglected Arjuna. And the word is used as nirasta. And that is by the mercy of the Lord. And then other things Arjuna is mentioning, that I dared to engage him in becoming a chariot driver. Many times it happened. Sometimes very senior devotee comes and he does some service, very simple service, like from the opening the door or sometimes washing some clothes or something. Then we feel so much embarrassed. Why senior devotee has to do something for me? And we feel bad. Oh, I unnecessarily allowed him to do something. So Arjuna is feeling, oh, I allowed him to be my chariot driver. So Prabhupada is explaining in a purport that how there are two types of people who worship the Lord, impersonalists and devotees. And both are duty of the Lord. Those who, and so both are respected actually. In 5th canto also Prabhupada explained that we should respect both. Even impersonalist, when sannyasi is passing, we should pay him obeisances. So both are respected. And both worship the Lord, even though they may not know. So in translation he is telling that those who are seeking liberation, salvation, they are also worshipping the Lord, and to that Lord I engaged in my service. So if impersonalists are also worshipping the Lord, how I dare to engage him in my service. And then Prabhupada is telling that, okay, iske bhi niche koi hai. Below these are also people who, they don't consider Lord as a Lord. In Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he said that Mudha. He chastises that these kind of people that, okay, those who consider Lord as some humanly, they are below this impersonalist also. Even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also considered as a human being. He is considered as a great saint. I heard him in some of the national level books. There is one chapter considering Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a very great saint. So Krishna is also considered as humanly, and even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. When we go for book division, we see people think that this Bhagavad Gita is something about a great lesson given by a great person. Of course, by that way also they take it and read, then they will get some sukruti, they will get Prabhupada's mercy. And then Prabhupada is explaining that Krishna's descent in this material world is, though it may be for different reasons, but main reason is to attract the living entity in his abode. People feel that, okay, he want to come and annihilate the demon, or he want to protect the sadhus. Yes, that is the purpose, but highest purpose is to attract the living entity. In one of the Vaishnava song, he says that Jivera karane asiya prapanche lila koile suvistara. Very detailed the pastimes is being taken place, so that many and many living entities are attracted to the spiritual world. And then Prabhupada is telling that his relationship with his parents, lovers and wife, it was so wonderful. So even if you can tell people, if you want to understand how Lord has relationship, we can tell them to read about in Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Because people are looking for nice relationship in this world. I mean, there are more relationship problem currently than the physical or what we can say, medical problems. And then Prabhupada is telling that devotee forgets. We have seen in Damodar Leela, not Damodar Leela, one of the past times, Yashodamai first binds Krishna. In when Yashodamai sees the Krishna Makhan, what was it? Mrudabhakshan Leela. So in that, when later Yashodamai sees entire universe inside the mouth of Krishna, then she thinks that, why unnecessarily I am thinking as myself as queen of queen of Nandagaon or Vrindavan, and why it is just a Brahm. I am thinking myself the wife of Nanda Maharaj. Actually, I am spirit soul. Krishna is supreme personality. Unnecessarily, I was tying him. And then again, Krishna puts the veil of Maya so that she will forget everything. And second part, Prabhupada is explaining about that so much need for water in the war field. Actually, our scriptures are having all the rasas, and they speak so practically. ऐसा नहीं कि okay, there was some war was going on, and if it is not Rajnikant movie, then only they can explain such practical thing. Otherwise, he will tell something that okay, there was immediately water. Actually, there is scarcity of water. So, scriptures are explaining that there was scarcity of water, and in that scarcity, water was taken out. But general in outside world, people say, okay, there was nothing, then immediately something came up like that. So Prabhupada is explaining reality that, okay, war field means, there will be big ground, very big ground, and the soil there will be very hard, right? So to the fact that soil hard means there will be long, big patch of land. That is why water will be very far. And because everybody is so much engaged in fighting, that too when somebody is wounded, and he really needs water. And in that condition, water was required. And there is discussion in Bhagavatam about that Mahabharatam, that how there was a scarcity of water, and it was a time that much time we have to take out horses, unyoke the horses and take. So Arjuna was doing that, and while doing that, he was worried that okay, something, some attack should not happen. And that was taken care by Krishna. How it was taken care? By making them inactive. Nirasta is telling. They were nirasta. So that becoming inactive, or what sometimes we make in our some apps are disabled. Like that he made them inactive. Yes. So there are different instances where Lord actually made different people inactive. Sometimes we also when we used to write exam, now also when we write exam about Bhakti Shastri, in between हम बोलते हैं ना बुद्धि मारी गई, लाइक ना, तो बीच में थोड़ा कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं, अरे क्या है मुझे आई एम नॉट एबल टू रिमेम्बर, सो पूरा ब्लैंक हो जाते हैं. सो लाइक दैट ऑल द किंग्स दे वर निरस्त. While writing exams, we think, "Arey, I am not able to remember," and somebody else is writing. He may be writing something nonsense. He may not be remembering, but it makes us more nirasta. That, "Arey, I am not able to remember what is that. I know that was not 67th page or something was there, but we don't remember." Even when Vasudeva was carrying Krishna from Mathura, that time all other soldiers they slept. So Krishna made them nirasta. So Acharya says that how it is not possible for Lord to make them sleep, because anyway every day he is making other people sleep. So why it is not possible for him to make sleep that time? When Rukmini was taken away by Krishna, that time also everybody was made nirasta, to the extent that they fall down from their elephants and different vehicles. So some acharyas also say that actually Rukmini was telling that you don't have to do anything, just my beauty I made them nirasta. So they all fell down, and later they were not understanding, "Arey, तुमने क्यों नहीं मारा, इसने क्यों नहीं मारा," like that. So they could not understand. We see in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, in Nityananda Prabhu's pastime also, when that many dacoits came to steal away from Nityananda Prabhu, that time also they were made nirasta. A wonderful drama made by the devotees, that how they were all confused and they just slept there. They ate more, and they made nirasta. And we also become nirasta. Sometimes our chashma, our goggles, they are on top of our head or somewhere else, and we are not able to understand where I kept. One devotee made very nice halwa once, and one thing he forgot to put in halwa, not butter, not kaju kismis. He forgot to put sugar. So the halwa was nirasta then. It was without the real fact actually. Sometimes in chanting also, we chant some round and we are nearest, we went somewhere else. Or in chanting, we forget whether I counted this money or not, this particular round or not. So we feel frustrated also, whether I chanted this round or not. So we are nirasta. Or while singing sometimes, we plan tune, which tune we'll sing. And then suddenly it is blank. So Krishna made everybody of them nirasta. Then so we'll see, there are actually very wonderful words this shloka have. He's saying that sautye ruta. So sautye means chariot driver actually. So it is very difficult for somebody who is in high esteem to come down on lower level and serve other actually. One person, he came to Vrindavan. We went for yatra that time. So other devotee was telling that Vrindavan land is so auspicious, to the fact that once in 2011 when we went that time, Sundarshan Prabhu made everybody roll on the ground in Raval. That he was telling, this is highest thing in the Vrindavan, that you should take dust of Vrindavan. So one person, he was being told by other devotees that, oh, Vrindavan land is very having spiritual potency, so you can sit down. But he was not ready to sit down. He was thinking that sitting down is like something very low to my esteem. So because of ego, we are not able to access that mercy, and But Krishna likes to become servant of his devotees. So that is what the word sautye is used. And then he is telling that he is kumatina. He is thinking myself as kumatina. मतलब मेरी मति खराब हो गई थी ऐसा, like that Arjuna is telling. But actually it is by the Krishna's arrangement only. Krishna is happy to become servant of his devotees. So Arjuna is feeling, okay, I unnecessarily engage him to become a chariot driver. But Krishna is happy becoming chariot driver. In Chaitanya Charitamrita also there is one shloka, he says that dasya, whatever the pleasure one have in becoming servant, that is the real pleasure. And that jiva is hankering for. Krishna is not happy saying himself as the Adi Purusham, the supreme personality. He is happy being even chastised by his devotees. So it is concept of the understanding of Arjuna that okay, I am kumatina, but actually he is not kumatina. Because Krishna wants to be served by devotees. We know that Ramabai's khichdi is there. Krishna wanted to be eaten or fed by his devotees. Or there is one very nice story. There is one Tak-pita Vitthal in Pandharpur. So he was so eager to being fed by one devotee, and that devotee was not able to come to temple. So later, Vitthal used to go in her home because that lady was not able to even get up from the bed. So Vitthal used to go there and used to ask, please give me something to eat. And she said that I don't have much thing, little bit chas I have, and little bajri flour I have. So Krishna personally used to come. He only used to mix that flour and tak and pit like that. So then he become Tak-pita Vitthal like that. So even Madhavendra Puri's pastimes we see, Lord was eager to be served by Madhavendra Puri. And for that what he was doing? He was under that bushes for many years, more than 4,500 years. Because that particular deity was made by Vajranath 5,000 years back, and that deity was below that bushes, and the deity was telling Krishna came in the dreams of Madhavendra Puri and he was telling that I want to be served by you. That's why I was waiting. So many times when we are crunch of services and in between one service comes, so that time we feel, I could have given this service to other. But maybe Krishna want you to do service. At least we can understand that Krishna is very eager to do this service in service attitude. So at least right now I can do in service attitude. Whether I was supposed to do or somebody else was supposed to do, that is now immaterial. But right now I can do this service or offer this bhoga to the Lord or do this small service. Because Krishna is very grateful for the even small service done by us. In Antalila, first chapter, 107th, very nice shloka, that Krishna Kaviraj Goswami explains that Krishna takes notice of even small service. Alpa seva bahumane atma paryanta prasad. And what Krishna gives? Krishna gives himself. Atma paryanta prasad. In terms of the prasad, how much Krishna can give? Krishna can give even oneself. Just like here the word coming, Atmada. What Krishna can give? Krishna actually want to give himself. His Gauranga Darshan Prabhu tells many times that there are many companies or many employers, they may employ employee and they may give in return. Many times employee knows that okay, whatever I am doing for this company, I am getting 1/10. He knows that okay, company is earning a lot, I am getting some part of it. So he always try to compete or talk with the manager that I am giving this much profit to the company. You should give me this much in return. But hardly anybody gives. And in terms of monetary, somebody may give, but who will give himself to the person who is serving him? Very rare. So not rare, it is impossible. So, but here Krishna is saying, Arjuna is saying that Krishna, who is Krishna? Krishna is Atmada. He is Varada. He is the Varad Lord, Varadev. What is called? Varadaraj. He can give many different benedictions. Highest of the benediction he can give, Varadaraj. And then he is saying he is īśvaro. īśvaro means who is he? He is worshipped by, he is supreme person, īśvaro, and bhajanti bhavyāḥ, he is worshipped by bhavya people. We say na, bhavya, divya, ayojan, like that. So he is bhajanti, he is worshipped by many big people. And that personality is serving me as a chariot driver. And he is yat-pāda-padmam abhavāya bhajanti bhavyāḥ. So he is such a big personality that by taking his shelter or his shelter of his lotus feet, yat-pāda-padmam abhavāya, we can cross over the ocean of material existence. So somebody may say, na, Acharya says that why he has to say that you serve the Lord and you will be liberated. Liberation के लिए कितना कुछ करना पड़ता है, right? But how just by serving the Lord you will get liberated? Because Lord is Mukunda, means one who can deliver you liberation. Or he makes liberation also kruchit, mucha kunda, sorry, mukunda. The one who make moksha also very kushchit. Matlab very less. The value of moksha is also made less by the Lord's service. So yat-pāda-padmam abhavāya bhajanti bhavyāḥ. And then he's saying, mam śrānta-vāham arayo. Śrānta is not shanta. Śrānta means thirsty. In Bhagavatam 3rd canto it is said that when we become thirsty or one who becomes very hungry, he become angry also. Because thirst and anger they have inbuilt. Any austerity, he have inbuilt anger in it. So śrānta-vāha is all, Vaha means Vahan. All these Vahana, this all horses, they were not Shanta, they were agitated actually. They wanted water. And he was saved from whom? Arayo, rathino, bhuvi-ṣṭhaṁ. So, arayo, all arayo means enemies. All enemies, Drona, and then Shalya, then Bhishma, these are big enemies were there. Rathino, bhuvi-ṣṭhaṁ, they were on the chariot. They all are having chariot. Bhuvi-ṣṭhaṁ. And when he was on ground, bhuvi-ṣṭhaṁ, he was on bhumi, that time Krishna saved me from their attack. Na prāharan, they could not prahar kar nahi sake wo. Na prāharan, yad-anubhāva-nirasta-cittāḥ. So they saved me. So there is some more understanding about Atmada I would like to explain. So whenever I was telling the example of company, how much they can pay? They can pay some in portion of your endeavors. So Lord want to give himself. There is one more sloka in 19th chapter of the 5th canto. Yeah, you can put it. So in 5th canto, 19th chapter, 27th sloka. Is there? Okay, no. Is there in CC? You can put CC. Okay. There also it is. It will come in 14th. You can put an advance view and advance. Okay, little bit, no problem. So he says that swayam vidatte, Lord will give himself to the person. Lord can give himself even when he is not asked for. So glory of the Lord's devotional service is that you may be going to the Lord with some material desire. So he says, it is when 14th one is quoted actually, or you can put 5:19:27. Satyam dishartyarthita arthido nunam. That a person may ask for some material benefit. Naivartado yat punararthida yata swayam vidatte bhajatam nichyatam ichchapidanam nijapada-pallavam. So somebody is desiring for material benefit, somebody is desiring for the moksha, and for that purpose he may approach the Lord. But even if you approach the Lord for this material benefit, Lord will give himself. So Lord can give himself. Swayam vidatte bhajatam anichyatam ichchapidanam nijapada-pallavam. So by worshipping the Lord, he will give himself. So who else can give himself? And Lord himself means big thing actually. Prabhupada's father always used to tell him that how much we can give to the Lord? We have only two hands. But if Lord reciprocates, Lord has thousands of hands. So how much Lord will give? So and Krishna's formula is simple. He reciprocates proportionately. So our two hands is Krishna's so many hands, right? So if we can give, you can give our that free will to Krishna, then Krishna can give a lot. How much Krishna can give? Krishna can give what we cannot hold. So Prabhupada's father always used to tell him that we have to give everything to Krishna. Any businessman, he checks actually how much I can give so that I will give in return. How much I should invest. So in Balaji, near Balaji, many people come to Balaji and they have some deal. I will give this much and you give me this much. Or when I will get, suppose 1 lakh, this much 20% I will give you. So to the fact, for visas and all, there is separate Balaji they have made. It is called as Visa Balaji. So people go there just to have their permission granted for their visas. So different thing we can ask to the Lord. Our one very nice devotee, Anandavrindavan Prabhu, he said that, we Gujaratis, we knows where we will get return. So that is why I do more chanting. Why? Because I know इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा return है. So like that he was telling that हम क्या पागल है क्या हम ऐसे ही ना हर एकादशी इतना जप करते हैं. We know he knows about stock market, so he was telling where I should invest so that I will get more in return, that I am completely aware, and that is why I spend time in chanting, doing bhakti about the Lord. So Lord reciprocate too much. There is one very nice clip saying Maharaj was saying in one of the lecture that when Krishna was there or Krishna is there in spiritual world, all cows, they want to give unlimited milk. But how unlimited milk can be given? And later also it is said that unlimited milk was expanding. Or it is said that Krishna is Akhila Rasamrita Sindhu, or Krishna is unfathomable, ever increasing love of God. Krishna can give you. But if the love of God is eternal, how can it increase? Or if it is the ocean, how it can increase? Because ocean will have some boundaries, it will have some bottom. But it is without bottom, unfathomable ocean. But it is nature of the spiritual world that it can increase. And it is reciprocal. Krishna also have unlimited thing, but when we reciprocate, we can also reciprocate in more terms. It is not that only Krishna has to do that unlimited way. Our capacity to serve also increase. Tulsi Prabhu, once he was telling in one of our class that Krishna is time. So if we give time to Krishna, Krishna increase our time. We may have 24 hours, but he increase our time. That is why we can see some devotees, we are sometimes ashamed, this devotee, he is working also, he is doing this his own bhakti nicely also and serving also. How can he serve so much? Because he is giving time for Krishna, Krishna is giving time. Yeah, so this arrow incidents, putting arrow and taking out water incidents is in various places actually, we might have heard. Bhishmadev's, when Bhishmadev was departing, that time also arrow was put and water came out. Then in Malyavant also, Malyavant hill, when Lord Ramchandra was there along with Lakshman, so Lakshman put arrow. And there nowadays also if you go in Hampi, you will see a mark where arrow's mark is there. So there he took out some water for giving to Mother Sita. Even one more incident, we know that when Lord Ram was there near Mumbai, so there is one place called Banaganga. So because of that arrow, not only little water but complete Ganga came out. Various rivers actually, water was present there. Even Lord Ramchandra, when he was reciprocating with Jatayu, that time also he shoot an arrow and water came out to give last ride to Jatayu. This also shows that how Lord was so much perfect in his reciprocation to his devotees. Even it is said that the fortune which Dashrath was not having, that fortune Jatayu received. So Krishna or Lord Ram, he reciprocate with the devotee in its full, what Prabhupada is telling in the middle of the purport. And also this different horses which were given water by Arjuna, yes. So for that Arjuna takes all the horses and actually he makes complete shield of arrows. And in that arrows, because horses will drink water when they are, because sometimes person, they will attack the horses also in order to chase the person who is in the chariot. So horses also should be carefree while drinking the water. So that's why Arjuna makes entire complete kavach around the horses so that they can drink water. And generally the picture it is shown that there are 5 horses, but many various places by the Acharya they said there were 4 horses actually to that chariot. To give the analogy of 5 senses, and then mind is like reins, and for that most of the time 5 horses are shown. But Acharya also said that there were 4 horses. So these 4 horses represent 4 emotions that drives us. So first emotion is fear. When we see that, out of fear people do some activity. So any activity, if we are fearless, then we can do it nicely. Then second emotion is about joy. In bhakti we experience so much joy, that's why we came in bhakti. First joy was through prasadam, and then everything follows. Kirtan. And then it's a third emotion about anger. So when person is driven by anger, he does sometimes, most of the time, negative things. And fourth is moroseness. In moroseness, person is actually inactive. So people practically don't do anything when they are morose. But these 4 emotion has to be there. But those emotions has to be controlled by Guru's instruction, by Krishna. Just like Krishna is controlling those horses of Arjuna's chariot. Otherwise, the same emotion will distract us. Having emotion is not a problem, but that emotion has to be controlled by Lord. And we also has to be controlled our chariot of this body, so that we have some yukta harvyarasya, as mentioned by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, and then we can do our regular sadhana, so that this the reins of our bodily and our life also can be given in the hands of Krishna. And then Krishna will take care. Krishna will take care of driving this chariot. He also will take care of giving water to these horses. So if we depend on Lord, at least while doing, while we pray as if we are completely dependent on Lord, and when we work as if everything depends on us. So that way we can feed these horses of emotions by keeping completely under the control of Lord. So there was one beautiful understanding I received, that Prabhupada is explaining this shloka, this 519, another shloka which I showed, 519-17. When he is explaining that shloka, he is quoting a series of shloka from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 22nd chapter, 26 to 47. And when that all shlokas, when they are explained there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami also quotes this 519-17. So one devotee, he was mentioning that how Prabhupada's purport is not that, okay, this is just some line Prabhupada has made, but these are the sentences coming from the different shlokas. So that we can completely see this purport of this 519-17. It explains this 10-15 shlokas from Madhya Leela 22nd chapter, 36 to 40th shloka. And when Prabhupada is explaining 519-17, there also that all purport comprises of those shlokas. And in Madhya Leela also, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami explaining this shloka. So one devotee, he made us do this exercise. You take any purport of any Prabhupada's books and see this particular line is a part of which shloka. So you will always get some shloka related to that purport point actually. So we can understand Prabhupada never wanted to give something out of the blue. He always not only gave things as it is, even he purport he gave as it is from the shlokas. So we can understand. One devotee was telling that these Prabhupada books are like golds. But there is one lecture by Gaurang Prabhu, he was telling that these books are more valuable than golds. So 180, 190 price is nothing. So we can share this gold, or is more than paras actually, which can make other people good. So and share with others by distributing it, whether it is one book, two books, or sometimes no book goes. Still we are sharing enthusiasm with others of reading this book. People want to at least see this book. Many people, sometimes out of ego, they may not take it. One person yesterday, 2 days before, was telling that, I was seeing all of you, I wanted to have this book, but I had decided that and I will not take the book until somebody approach me. So no problem, we will approach. So we can share this wonderful knowledge of Prabhupada's books with others by sharing Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam with them. So I am very grateful for giving opportunity to discuss something about Krishna's being grateful to Arjuna. Arjuna being grateful to Krishna. And please forgive me if I have spoken something wrong. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.